No, President Trump cannot move forward with his plans to restrict birthright citizenship for babies born to migrants throughout the entire United States. Why? Because one single federal judge issued basically a nationwide injunction. But the Supreme Court said no. What about the... Doesn't matter. How? I'm about to tell you. Today, a federal judge in New Hampshire certified a class action lawsuit being brought by the ACLU against the Trump administration to block his birthright citizenship executive order from taking effect. The class? All babies born in the United States who would not have American citizenship granted because of Trump's order. From the bench, the federal judge issued a ruling not only certifying the class action, but also granting the preliminary injunction. Specifically, the judge wrote that this class includes all current or future persons who are born after February 20th, 2025, where that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth, or that person's mother's presence in the United States was lawful but temporary, and the person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident at the time of said person's birth. President Trump said his original birthright citizenship order would apply to babies born in the United States on or after February 20th. That's why the judge used that date. Now, it's important to know that this judge did not certify the parents of babies as a class, just the babies. And the judge delayed implementation of his ruling for 7 days, so the Trump administration has time to appeal, which they most likely will. And not that it matters, but the federal judge who issued today's ruling was appointed to the bench by President George W. Bush. So you're probably thinking, I thought the Supreme Court just said a few weeks ago that lower federal courts couldn't issue nationwide injunctions that stop the president's actions. Yes, they did. But what the majority of the justices said was, generally, federal judges needed to tailor their injunctions to the plaintiffs who are suing. And as I mentioned in that video when I reported the news, there's a loophole in this. And that loophole is if a class action lawsuit is granted and the class of people is wide enough to protect everyone affected, which may mean that the class applies to those people no matter what state they live in. And that's exactly what happened here. Hours after the Supreme Court ruling came down that narrowed those nationwide injunctions to only plaintiffs who sued, the ACLU filed a request with this federal judge to sue the Trump administration on behalf of a specific class. And that specific class was all these babies born in the United States who would be subject to Trump's birthright citizenship executive order if it were to be implemented. And today, that federal judge granted not only the class, but also granted the injunction that blocks Trump. Now, it's important for you to know that if this ruling is overturned by the appeals court, starting on July 27th, the Trump administration is going to probably start moving forward with implementation of the president's birthright citizenship restrictions nationwide. That means if this injunction is gone, in some states, some babies born to undocumented migrant parents will be granted American citizenship, but in states where some federal court has not blocked Trump's executive order, those babies in those states would not be granted U.S. citizenship. So it's going to be complicated, but if you want to read the judge's orders from today, I will email them out to you tonight in my Facts HQ email, so make sure you sign yourself up.